Good morning, friends. Thank you for joining in Sedgwick Middle School's Veterans Day ceremony. Please stand and remove your caps for our national anthem. Thank you for joining us this Veterans Day as Sedgwick Middle School pays tribute to the brave men and women of the different military branches who have served our great country. I am honored to introduce Patrick R. Harrell, Marine, Vietnam veteran, and past Legion Post Commander for West Hartford's Hayes Village, American Legion Post 96. We thank him for his service and are extremely grateful for his presence here today. Mr. Harrell is going to give us a brief history of the origins of our Hayes Village American Legion Post. We will then have students read from some of the over 115 primary documents that have survived and come to us courtesy of Frank Village's estate. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Patrick R. Harrell.
Thank you, Doug. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here this morning to share some information with you about the post. The Hayes Village Post was formed on the heels of World War I. We didn't call it World War I back then. It was known as the Great War, and or also the war to end all wars. And we know that it wasn't the last one. It's interesting that Albert Einstein said that if we have a World War III, the war after that will be fought with sticks and stones. So anyway, the American Legion is based on service to our nation, to our veterans, to our community, and to our youth. These are the four pillars of our foundation of service. And so a lot of the veterans that join our post are used to serving. They serve their country, and now they want to continue that service. The post is named after Hayes Village, two West Hartford residents. Waldo Hayes was a machine gunner. He died in France, in the trenches. Frank Village joined the Navy, and he was readying the USS South Carolina battleship to go overseas and join the fray. And his job at the time was to paint the anchor and the anchor chain. And while he was doing it, the chain broke and fell on him and caused him great injury. He died a few weeks later in the Naval Hospital in Philadelphia. Either way, both of these veterans served their country and served honorably. I want to tell you about two other veterans who served in a later war. You all know about Gordon Sterling. I didn't. And I played at that Sterling Field for over 20 years with the Insurance Soccer League, and then my kids played football and soccer, and combined, we probably spent 40 years, almost half a year on that field, and still didn't know why it was named Sterling. And I know, thanks to John's history teaching, that some of you do know. But Sterling was the first West Hartford resident who gave his life in World War II on December 7th. As the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, the first thing they did was level all the airfields so that the Americans couldn't scramble and combat them. The airfields that were further out on the island, sprinkled around the island, and Sterling was with one of them, they were able to scramble. And he got into a plane with 3 other pilots, and the 4 of them raised to meet the onslaught. And as Gordon Sterling got into his plane, he handed his watch to the ground chief and said, "Give this to my mother. I won't be coming back." So he was in for the fight, and we honor that. We honor that as a hero, a heroic act. But I want to tell you about another veteran of the Korean War, Alvin Kotler. Alvin was trained and ready to go overseas to be on the front line in Korea. And the night before they left, they had a little party down by the lake, had a few beers, and they were throwing each other in the lake, and in the process, his glasses got broken. And he couldn't leave with the troops the next day. They had to get new glasses for Alvin. And when they finally did, and he was ready to go, they said, what we need now is a cook. And so they sent Alvin to culinary school, and then when he was deployed overseas, he was deployed as a cook in an army hospital in Germany, where he provided nourishment not only to the staff and the people that managed and maintained the hospital, but the patients who needed good nourishment to recover. Alvin never thought he served, but he did. For every person that carries a weapon in combat, there are 10 people doing things that are essential to the survival of that combatant. All jobs in the service are critical. So again, thank you for honoring this day. And I look forward to the rest of the program.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, thank you, Mr. Harrell. Like I mentioned before, we have over 115 documents preserved. They're all in digital format now, and I had the privilege of going through many of them. So we picked out a few of the letters between Mr. Village and his family. And our first reader today is Colin Rich. And he's going to read from 2 letters sent to Frank Village, one on January 4th, 1917, and another one on January 15th, 1917. And both of the letters are inviting him to a dance, although by now he had been deployed. But check out the desperation as they ask him for $1.50. $1.50 back in 1917 was big money. So they want the $1.50 from Frank, and they want to have him come to the dance, attend the dance. And Colin's going to read from those letters. Colin?
Hartford, Connecticut, January 4th, 1917. Dear friend, acknowledging the courtesy of the dancing party given by the girls Saturday, December 30th, 1916, we plan a return party in their honor. We ask you to please cooperate with us, and the donation will amount to about $1.50. About the last of January is the time we set. We'd be pleased to hear immediately if you were with us on this. We remain MJ Rafferty, H. Shaw, and C. Solano. P.S. Please send your answer to MJ Rafferty, 498 Garden Street, Hartford, Connecticut. Hartford, Connecticut, January 15, 1917. Dear friend, we wrote you a letter in regards to a party and dance to be held at the Pond House Saturday evening, January 27th. If you are going, we We would appreciate it very much if you send $1.50 to MJ Rafferty, 498 Garden Street City. Thank you in advance for your name, MJ Rafferty, Adolph M. Slot. P.S. Please send the money by registered letter.
Okay, not sure if he ever did send $1.50 because, like I said, he had, by this time had been deployed. Our next letter is from Frank Village's sister Mel, and was written to him on April 13th, 1917. It will be read by Melanie Minaya. Mel?
My dear Frank, I received your card this morning and was very glad to hear from you. I was awfully sorry I could not get in to see you off, but Mom and Pa have both been sick and Lil and I have had all the work to do. After we came home from the armory, we had lots of company and they stayed to supper, so we had some work to do. Therefore, we were too tired to get up so early in the morning. I went to the Phoenix dance Tuesday night and saw Bill and the girls. He told me you had already written to your folks, so I asked him to tell you to write to me next time he will. I hope it will be a good vacation for you, and I do hope to see you back soon. Remember me to Ed, Healy, Dorrance, and Pierce. Hoping to hear you again soon. I remain yours, Mel F. P.S. If I can do anything for you, please let me know, such as sending some homemade fudge. Bye.
Thank you, Mel. Our next reading is a letter to Frank from his Aunt Alice, and this is dated on April 19th, 1917. It'll be read by Maya Gohan.
Dear Frank, was very glad to get your card. Everyone says you did such a fine thing to enlist, and we are all proud of you. It will be a great experience for you and one you will recall all through your life. Someday, you will be telling your grandsons how when old granddaddy killed off most of the Germans. I wonder what your granddaddy would say about all this. I always feel glad he knows nothing of it. In the paper tonight, I see that your dad has been made sergeant. I'm glad he is so interested. Leslie tells of the drills and how very awkward most of the men are in his squad, or whatever you call it. Do you remember the girl who called you on the phone a couple of times last summer, and you wondered and wondered who it was? Well, it was me, myself, and I trying to get you and make you think it was that little girl who spoke to you on the car that one day. And your dad put me up to it. Did he ever tell you? When you write to him, tell him you got a letter from her. Norman is very much interested in the battleships. He has a picture of several gotten from the current, and one of them is the Rhode Island. If you get a good picture card of it, will you send it to him and also tell us what your duties are and what they call you? I meant to have gotten out to see you before you left, but Charlotte was sick with Quincy and had an absence on one tonsil, and I couldn't get away. But I was very glad you phoned us. Write when you feel like it, and take very good care of yourself, for we need a hero in the family. I'm enclosing a couple of stamps, as you may not get a chance to buy them. Love from Mom, Aunt Alice, 150 Edward Street, Hartford.
Thank you. Thank you to Mr. Cilio. He just gave me some information that $1.50 in today's money is now worth $36. So we are talking about a pretty good sum there. Thank you, Matt. Okay. Our next letter will be written by Julian Pham, and it's from Frank's dad, and it was written on September 6, 1917. And Frank's dad, they refer to each other as Pop, so he refers to his dad as Pop. Julian.
Dear kid, as everybody gone to the fair, I thought it would be a good time to write letters. I just wrote to Mr. Grinnell out in Minneapolis, where he is at present. I suppose you are hungry all the time now. I brought Hansine out with me tonight to supper, and Mom has taken her to the fair. Peggy has taken quite a fancy to her. I had to laugh at young Parker all the time we were at the Salmon River. The poor cuss would like to drown Bessie and take Nancy if she encouraged him away. Every time he looked at her, Bessie would be John Lee on the spot. But Hansine don't like him and shows it. She likes boats and is stuck on the yellow cottage in the Salmon River. She is never done talking about it. How is your jaw and how long before you can leave there? I may come down the latter part of September, but I don't know. I don't think I might coming. But Bill will come anyway. Bill said he wouldn't be found dead in Philadelphia. He is coming alone this time. We are going to give Joe Cena a big send-off with a little time at the Bond that accompanied the CHG cash present along with the cash present from the Ateneo. He leaves here Sunday morning, September 8th for Air, Massachusetts. We will send you the Hartford papers from time to time so you can keep up in touch with us. This is all I can think of at present, accepting that Company B has their pictures taken en masse before the parade last Tuesday. And believe me, there are some fine-looking bunches, especially the last man on the right.
Thank you, Julian. Okay, less than a week later, on September 11th, 1917, Frank dictated the following letter to his pop, as he called him. There was little evidence in the letter that Frank would die later on that day from apparently the internal injuries that were undetected. Didn't have the things we have now, like MNRs, and things of that nature, X-rays, things that can go deeply. So he would die later on that day from the injuries he sustained when the train fell out. All right, I will read this letter because we have a sick student today. The following is a letter to Mr. F.R. Village, care of Underwood Computing Machines Company, Hawthorne Street, Hartford, Connecticut. There is no zip code because there weren't any zip codes back in 1917. September 11th, 1917. Dear Pop, the nurse is writing this letter for me as I am too weak. I am unable to get any food in my stomach, so they feed me by tube. I do not know how soon I will be better, as all I can do is lie in bed in one position. The jaw was only one of the minor things, for considerable internal injuries have shown up in the meantime. The doctors seem to think that I will get better soon. I received your letter yesterday. I was very glad to hear from you. I am writing this to you as I did not know whether you would like to tell Mother or not, as it may start to worry her. The doctors think my condition is not so serious, but it requires time, and I must lie real quiet all the time. I have a lot of trouble sleeping at night, with hypodermic injections relieve me and put me to sleep. I got a letter from Bill from the office the other day. They paid me over here the amount of $24, and I almost had heart failure. That was only 2 weeks' pay. I had it deposited in the office as I can't spend anything now. Therefore, I will leave it there until I can. I sure would like to be back by the old back veranda and have Dr. Elmer treat me. Tell Hansie not to expect a letter from me until I am well enough and able to get up, and I don't know when that will be. I can't think of anything much more to say just now. Give my love to all the folks at home and down to Grandma's. And tell Mother not to worry, whatever she does. Your loving son, Frank. Okay, the next letter was sent to Frank's parents and was dated September 15th, 1917. It's a letter that no military family would like to receive. Michael Fitzgerald will have the honors. Michael?
Hartford, Connecticut, September 15, 1917. Dear friends, although fully cognizant of the feebleness of words to feel the deep wounds of sorrow caused by your recent bereavement. It may be of some comfort to you to know of the high esteem in which his memory is held by his former shipmates. His many varying and many sterling qualities demanded at once admiration and the loving companionship of all the humans. And process many of his scattered comrades and all feel keenly sorrowful and all our providence has decreed that so noble and likable a comrade should pass on to the great beyond. His memory, though, shall ever remain with us as a standard to be looked up to. Again, assuring you of the heartfelt sympathy of your many comrades and myself in our mutual loss, Irene. Very sincerely yours, George Ordinsky, former Gunner's Mate, 2nd Division.
Thank you, Michael. That concludes our ceremony today. I'd like to give a round of applause for Mr. Bill Kimmerer. And our guest letter readers today, Colin and Mel, Amaya, and Julian and Michael back there. And thank you to Ms. McNeese for all your technical history, and to Jenna for setting up the mics for us, and Mr. Melian and Mr. Browse for the scheduling, and Jamie and crew for getting everything up to speed here for us. So thanks very much, guys. Go out and thank a veteran today. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.